Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. Y'all know I'm excited about this conversation. So, today we're going to be speaking with Mr. Caleb Anderson. He's a 13-year-old college student. So, we want to give a warm welcome to Mr. Caleb Anderson. Hello, Caleb.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, you?
I am doing well. When I tell you that I've been so excited to just have this conversation, I've been excited. Now, the reason I wanted to have you on is because just the fact that you're 13 and you're in Georgia Tech is amazing. So, can you tell us that journey? Because I read that at 9 months you learned sign language. And at one, you started to read, and at three fractions, Caleb, what's going on here?
Um, was, I guess, the main thing that, gave me all of these abilities was my ability to, learn, grasp information quickly, learn quickly. So, my mom, first saw that, I was trying to mimic her, at a very young age, like, weeks into my birth, trying to make her sounds and things like that. So she tried to cultivate that. She ended up teaching me sign language. I could read, very early, not 6 to 9 months. Um, you know, um, I was apparently able to, even read the U.S. Constitution by, 2. I was doing fractions. I do remember that I could draw a circle. I could draw an O, but I refused to write a zero. I don't know why. That's just a funny story, but you know, um, I from there, I was enrolled, at the in the first grade at 2 years old, and I ended up skipping kindergarten. Or no, sorry. What happened was I took kindergarten twice, so that I could, play with kids, sort of closer to my age. I think I started at, 2, 3, and I ended up in first grade at, 4, even though I was doing sort of that level, 2 years before. And then after that, I did second grade, and I ended up skipping third. And my mom did start a school for fourth, fifth, or from kindergarten through sixth or seventh grade. So I ended up going to that school, and when I hit seventh grade, I went to another school, and I did graduate with honors, but that school wasn't really right for me, so I transferred schools, and they actually ended up holding me back, again for more social reasons. So from there, I did graduate with all, or I did end up going through seventh grade again, with all A's and B's. And then from there, I skipped eighth grade, and this is sort of where it gets a little bit complicated. But um, what did I do? Right, I I did high school and college at the same time. I did like this dual enrollment program, but I was
Mhm.
enrolled as like um I was enrolled at my my mom's old school technically, but I was taking full time college classes, so I was able to finish high school in 2 years and get my associate's degree.
When did you know that everyone's special? But when did you know you had that talent? You were, you're in class, but you're like learning at a faster speed. When did you know you had it?
Um, I There have been a lot of times where I've sort of you know felt it, but I think I really recognized it. At least my first run through in seventh grade, because the school that my mother started was it was for kids like me. So um, it did eventually end up closing down, but there were a lot of kids like me who learned on an accelerated pace, and we were learning some of the things that I've learned in college, there actually. So I think that sort of threw me off a little bit. And before that, I was obviously very young, and so it didn't really phase me. But when I hit seventh grade, I definitely realized that it was different.
What advice would you give a child out there who has that special gift, but they feel ostracized? They can't they're living in both worlds. They can't kind of socialize with kids their age, and the older kids are not really wanting to socialize with them. So they don't feel that they're accepted. What advice would you give, someone like yourself?
So, number one, I'm not saying hide your talents, but I am saying like, number one, make friends with kids your age. It's a little bit harder to make friends with older kids. I do have friends, that are in college, but um, it is a little bit harder to make friends that are your age, or that are much older than you. But I would say, like, not talk about like, if you're trying to make friends your age, not talk about your gift, and then when they're actually friends with you, talk about it then, when you realize that they're not using you for your talents, or um they're a trustworthy person that won't get jealous of you, or they're somebody just doesn't want to get close to you, even though they don't actually like you, that wants to get close to you even though they want to get sorry that wants to get close to you even though they don't like you. So that's the tactic I've used, and I've actually made quite a lot of friends that way. And once you start having friends, you build confidence, you can make friends with people knowing your talents, and I've done that too as well.
Now, what advice would you give parents? Because I want it coming from you. What advice would you give parents who has a child like yourself and they just don't know what to do? So, what advice would you give the parents? Because I'm going to ask your mom as well, but I'd like to know from you. What advice would you give parents?
Advice number one, don't push your child, because if they truly have that gift, they're probably going to push themselves. And even without that gift, it's already a lot of stress. School is very stressful, and if you're in a higher grade, it's definitely very stressful. And if you have the added pressure of your parents on top of you, it's very, very uh there's a lot of pressure on you, and that's not great. Even me, I have a lot of pressure on me, but um I mainly most of that pressure comes from me. I'm the one that puts on
Mhm.
myself, and I think that parents really need to know how to, especially with kids who do learn quickly. They will want to learn. That is something that you have to cultivate, at an early age. It doesn't matter if you have a gift or not. You need to know how to learn. But I do think that you need that kids, just naturally, they'll try to push themselves to learn. And again, that sort of leads me into my other piece of advice. It doesn't matter who you are. From a very young age, you're going to want to teach your child as much as possible, and you're going to want them to teach. You're going to want to teach them, critical thinking and how to learn for themselves. Because, especially with the internet, it's great and all. There's a lot of cool things coming from it, but there's also a lot of opinions coming at you every which way, and you can't let that influence you. You have to make informed decisions on your own, and you have to learn how to learn. So you're not picking and choosing which opinion, you're making your own opinion, mixing and matching, and going for the path that seems right for you.
How are you handling negativity?
Negativity, I've made the mistake of reading some comments on my YouTube, not my YouTube, some of the interviews that I've had, and some of them are very positive, and some of them are very negative. You'd be surprised, but um, whenever I read comments on other people, like negative comments on other people, I just think, oh, how bad they must feel. But when I read them about myself, I just realize that there's no way that's true, because that's not who I am. They're talking about, you know um they're saying bad things about my parents. They're saying bad things about myself, and me being, it's being my life, I know that isn't true. So honestly, I just laugh at them, because it's honestly funny to see how these people think that, they know everything about my life, even though they don't.
What I love about your family, you guys, you're the prince, your father's the king, your mother's the queen, and your siblings are princes, and so on and so on. I just love your family dynamic. I love the unit that you have. And on my platform, I'm allergic to negativity. I break out in hives. I tolerate no negativity on my page. Any negativity that we get, we delete. Okay. So I'm here to tell you, you have so many supporters. And I understand because sometimes, because I read things about myself and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not me. But then, and sometimes you can get 99 things great, and that one thing can like kind of bring you down. In the past, it used to do that for me. I don't allow that anymore because if they don't know me, they can't affect me. So they're just going on assumption, and as they say, hateration. So it's better for me to smile, get to know who you are, than all that negativity. So I commend you for having such a great outlook. When you look at things, because it's true. Sometimes don't even read the comments because there's gonna be that one comment that's out of whack. So just know right now, because I've researched you and spoken with your mom, you're absolutely amazing. Everyone is talented. Everyone has a gift. But I'm glad that you're utilizing your gift and optimizing it to the best of your ability. So you chose aerospace engineering. Why? And explain that, please.
Well, when I was younger, I wanted to be an astronaut, just like every kid. But if there's one thing about me, I'm like incredibly stubborn. Like, I once ran away when I was 3, twice.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did you say you ran away twice at 3 years old?
I think once at 3 and once at like 4 or 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, but when I think of something, I go for it. Of course, now that I'm a little bit older, I wouldn't do that
Right.
because I have to think of the pros and cons. Once I get out of the house, what am I gonna do?
Mhm.
Like what? But you know, again, going back to my point, I wanted to be an astronaut. That was my dream. I love space, and I guess I'm not really that interested in aerospace, not as much as a lot of people. If you meet an aerospace engineer, 99.9% of the time they're going to love planes. It doesn't matter if they retire; they're going to be working on planes or
Mm.
rockets. I don't even think most aerospace engineers will retire because they definitely love what they do. Um, you know, I don't know about mechanical engineers. I don't know about electrical engineers because I know some of them that just do it for a job. They do like it, but it is just a job to them. They would like to retire. But most aerospace engineers, that's their favorite thing. But that's not like me. I like space. I don't like flying. But I
Mm.
guess almost astrophysics, I guess. But aerospace engineers seem like a good gateway to become an astronaut to learn about space. However, once I delved deeper into aerospace engineering, I realized that I didn't have to risk my life to go into space, but instead I could have these very very courageous astronauts. I could have their lives in my hands because I really can't and 100% trust people who send these astronauts into space. I would like to be the one. I would like to be the one to send these people into space, to have them explore because I know I could trust my hands.
So have you seen Hidden Figures?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So did that help you a little bit more in your mind analytically when you watched it about what these women did and things like that?
Yeah, that definitely influenced my decision a little bit, but I guess that sort of showed me why I wanted to do it. I sort of had that feeling ever since I decided, but I didn't really know like why I fell in love with it. Um, but I thought it was cool that all these people behind the scenes, they're the ones that are doing the work. And it is incredible that these people went into space, operated the controls. But I also think it's incredible that people they built these literal flying like missiles, and they target them, to a planet millions of miles away. I personally, costing billions of dollars, all of that. I personally think that's insane, and that one small mistake can make the rocket go kaboom. But it doesn't always go kaboom. It usually does, but not always.
Right,
But
right. So,
um,
have you gone to space camp?
yes, I have.
Okay. So, and did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was very fun. I got to go on a few missions, and those were when you hear about them, they sound lame, but they're really really complicated. Like, you would not think that they have so much, like, detail in just like a little simulation meant for what, children.
Well, I heard about it because there's a radio guy down here. Back in the day, his name was Frank Ski, and he had a space camp that he would take the kids to. I don't know how he picked selected the kids, and he would take them to space camp. Someone asked a question. They wanted to know, did you ever see a television show called Doogie Howser?
No, I have not.
Okay. And it's basically a young teenager and he's a doctor, and that was like in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. So, he was a phenom himself, and it showed you, the pros and cons, and he couldn't really assimilate with the older people, but he had a young friend. So, my question to you is, what do you hope to do? Let's say, okay, you said you want to build a ship, you don't want to actually be an astronaut. What would you like your legacy, and I'm asking you this at 13, what would you like your legacy to be known as?
Um, I want to build a company for people like me that don't have the same opportunities that I do. People that number one aren't as financially supported as I am. I got really lucky. I'd like to somehow give out scholarships, and have people who are like me, but who aren't hired. Because because there's somebody who's richer and who have more resources, but isn't necessarily smarter. So I want to build a company um for people who didn't have the same opportunity as I did, but who look like me, and who are smarter than me. And I think that that's a company that can rival the likes of SpaceX and Blue Origin, because I think that that's a really sincere dream, and I think that that's something that a lot of people would like to see accomplished.
How important is it, being an African American young man, to be a role model to other African American young kids?
Very important, because I don't believe I guess the sort of stereotype of successful African American men is basketball players, football players, even baseball players, or even political figures like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. But you don't hear very much about these geniuses who invented things like peanut butter, the traffic light, um, who took these ideas and made them into something that we take for granted every day. So I think that African American kids, no, not just African American kids, kids in general,
Mhm,
honestly,
mhm.
because sort of the, I guess, the norm in today's society is that you want to be an influencer, an actor, and if you're really good at it, go for it. If you're really good at an athlete, if you're a good boxer, if you're a good football player, if you're a good singer, then go for it. But just know that almost nobody gets into those jobs. Not almost nobody makes it big in those jobs. So, it's either make or break. Don't drop out of college. Just as many billionaires went, or 10, 20 times as more billionaires went to college as those who didn't. And the ones that didn't, they had financial support from the family, and they had financial support from their friends, and they had financial support from banks and things like that. And a lot of people dropped out of college thinking that they could make it like that, but they didn't know what these people had to go through. So I think, especially being an African American man or kid, um, that it's very important that I show people that there's an easier way to go through to become successful without having to you know um create almost talents that you have didn't have since you were born, because I think that STEM, anybody can go into. All it takes is a lot of determination and willpower, and you can become rich through that. And instead of being an athlete or an actor, and maybe making it big.
How important is it to you to give back to your community, and why?
um Very important, but I wouldn't say I'm trying to do that sort of now, because I guess sort of my reason for that is, um if people want to have somebody to look up to, I think that I've already, I guess, have already have done great things now, but I think I need to get where I want to be before trying to help other people, because you know number one, I think that the higher up I am, the more opportunities I have to help other people. And number two, I don't want to help a ton of other people just to drag me down and negate all the other people that I could have helped, that I didn't, because I was too bit focused on one or two or three people.
Someone asked, have any celebrities reached out to you?
Yes, the Steve Harvey Foundation has reached out to me. They actually paid for my undergrad, the whole thing, which is pretty incredible. And
Hmm.
I even met him. I know, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I remember seeing that Kevin Durant did say something about me as well.
Oh, okay.
So, and there I've also met a few famous reporters too. So, who else have I met? I think that's it so far. I know I'm probably missing one or two people, but
Who, other than your parents, who do you look up to?
I look up to Nikola Tesla. He's one of my
Yes.
favorite inventors, because even though Thomas Edison took his AC/DC system, made into the light bulb, got rich, you know, um, Nikola Tesla didn't let that stop him. Instead of trying to focus on you know getting rich and famous, he tried to focus on the advancement of humanity. And I think that putting others, everyone before himself, I think that's something that I can really look up to. And Neil deGrasse Tyson as well, he's a black astrophysicist or something like that. But he's also somebody who became famous not because of what he or his natural talents, but because of hard work and determination.
And my younger brother introduced me to Tesla. And when I read his book, to see how his invention was stolen, and to see he put humanity before himself. So he wasn't just looking to be rich, rich, rich. He was actually looking to advance humanity. And so when you said that, I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, I just love his book, just love the man himself. And I'm sure he's looking down now, but I just wish, things happen the way it happens. But he's just amazing to me. So let's say after watching this show, President Biden calls you and says, hey, I saw you on the Women are Worthy Network. I want to give your organization or $1 million, but you need to use it in like a philanthropic way. What would you do?
I've
Yeah, I
not
wanted to
heard
make you
that word
think.
in a while. Can you rephrase that?
Sure. The president calls you, wants to give you $1 million because of who you are, and he knows you're going to use that money to help others.
That makes
Where would you put that money? And
um
why?
okay, so I think the first $500,000, 70 um five 750,000 I put it in foster systems, orphanages, and inner city schools and things like that, because I think there are a lot of undiscovered kids who could have had this opportunity, but their schools aren't ready for that, or life, or they just got really unlucky in life, and I don't think that's fair for them. And I got lucky. I have two parents. I have a really great family, and I don't think a lot of other kids have that. So I want to make sure that they get an opportunity, especially because of COVID.
Right.
A lot of children have lost their parents from that. A lot of children have lost their siblings. There's a lot of um, traumatization from that, and I guess that sort of leads me to my second point. Either the rest of my money, or sorry, $150,000. Did I do my math right? Yeah, I guess $150,000, $200,000. I put that into mental health, because especially again, with the internet, a lot of conflicting opinions, and all of that negativity. I think that a lot of kids my age are struggling with depression, anxiety, ADHD, even suicidal thoughts. So I want to make sure that these kids are okay, and they can um, you know, I guess sort of shine, and in their own way. And lastly, I guess I'd give the rest of the money to some of the schools that have helped me, because I just want to give back and make sure that they've managed to pull out me. So I want to make sure that they pull out all the other kids, every kid actually, pull out the greatness in every kid, that they can, sorry sorry I guess they can sort of pull out the greatness in every kid, so they can I guess make the world a better place.
I'm here to tell you, because so often we interview geniuses or great people doing phenomenal things, but we forget about the people in the background. Your mom and dad did a phenomenal job raising you. Phenomenal job. You
One
have your head on right. You're very articulate. You seem to be well balanced. Your parents did an amazing job. I can't wait to get your mom on our show to talk about raising children, because right now it's just a hot mess what's going on out here, and we need people like her to help navigate other parents and children, especially during COVID. So I just want to tell you, my prince, you're doing a phenomenal job. Keep on being yourself, keep on being motivated. Don't look at the negative Nellies, only deal with the positive Pollies and keep it moving. So, my next question is, someone asked, what do you think about the possibility of colonizing Mars and other planets?
possibility of colonizing Mars. That's an interesting question. Um, if we're gonna do it, we got to do it fast, because, or actually, I don't know. I think there are more pressing problems like global warming that's supposed to kill us, in the next, I don't know, 30, 50 years. So I think that's a very, very big problem. But once we get rid of that, it's a very, very, I guess, easy solution. I think the only, because there has been confirmed to be water there, and we still don't. I think we still. I'm pretty sure we still haven't found life yet, but
Mhm.
there is water,
Right.
so there's a very, very high possibility. That we could build a sustaining colony there, and we are working on the Artemis missions, which are meant to send people to the moon, um as almost like well, to take words from NASA, a gateway. That's what they're calling the new lunar station, like the ISS, but on the moon. Um, so almost like a gateway between here, Mars, and even other planets after that. So I guess it is possible. It might take maybe 50 years, but no, it definitely is within our generation. But I do think global warming might be a more pressing problem. But I'm pretty sure we're working on the Artemis missions first.
What would you like us to know about you that we don't know, that you would like to tell us?
Like to
Who is
tell
Caleb? Who is Caleb?
Netflix is awesome. That's first thing. Netflix is incredible. I love Marvel movies as well. The whole MCU is pretty cool.
What movies do you like?
Marvel,
Oh, Marvel. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Um, and speaking of movies, I do like movies where the villain wins, but like in
Really?
um, like I actually like War more than Endgame. I like another movie called The Usual Suspects. That one was really, really, really good. Um,
See, Suspects. I remember the old Usual Suspects, and I guess it's a resurgence of it. Is it with
uh,
the couple?
wait, are you talking about like the 2000s one?
I don't know if it was 2000. The one that I saw was with some guys. It was male figures. It was all male in the movie.
Yeah,
Okay. I
talking
think
about Ocean's 8.
no. So I think I think this is a resurgence of it because if you look at the Usual Suspects, the old one, you'll see. I want you to take a look at that. It's an old movie. So I
I
think
think I did see the old one. I'm
okay,
not sure though. I have to go
okay.
back and check. And I think that's his name. I think it's Christopher Nolan.
I think
Uh,
that sounds right. I think that sounds right.
yeah, I
Mhm.
don't know, but he made like Inception, Interstellar, all those movies. Those are incredible movies. They make you think like a lot. I need to see Tenet. That's the next one I gotta see. I heard you have to watch it like a few times.
To get it. Okay, so what's your okay? So it's like a speed round right now. What's your favorite food?
Favorite food. I like everything. But if I had to pick, a few foods, I'd say sushi and tacos. Not together, obviously, but I like sushi and tacos.
What do you like to do for fun?
I like to play video games. I watch a little bit of anime, and I like to hang out with my friends, ride my bikes, things like that.
Who's your best friend?
Um, I have
You can only name two.
Roman and Merrick. Hi.
What's your favorite color?
What's my favorite color? I like blue and bronze. I don't know why.
What would you like to see that's happening in the world now to be gone? That it should, like, as of tomorrow, you say it now, it will never be again.
Well, what would I like to see that's happening now to be gone?
Mhm.
Um, I guess poverty. I think that's a very, very, big source of a lot of problems. And, don't kill me on this, but honestly, communism isn't that bad of an idea. However, the problem with it is that people have twisted, the whole kumbaya, everybody's equal idea into sort of like a power scheme. And that's sort of why a lot of capitalist countries are a lot more free and things like that.
Summer or winter?
That's a good question. Summer.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate ice cream, vanilla cake.
Look, you only get one. It's not two. One.
Fine. Chocolate because I like chocolate ganache cake too. That stuff is good.
Where do you like to go? You're living in Georgia. I'm assuming, you're living in Georgia. What's your favorite two places you like to visit?
I want to go to Egypt, and I think I want to go to Paris.
Okay, and in Georgia, what two places do you like to go hang
Uh,
out, visit with your family?
Here, I like the Blue Ridge Mountains, and I like Atlanta, like the city, you know Atlanta City, as well.
Do you still live in Cobb?
Yeah.
What do you like about Cobb County?
Um, it was a pretty big sense of community here, even though it's a very big county, and it's very what you call it, like I guess it's very modern almost. It's like suburbs, yoga pants, things like that. But it's a pretty cool place to be, and I know they have a really good school system too.
Yeah, I live in Cobb. I'm in the Kennesaw Ackworth area, and I find it starting to be a little bit like a. I'm from New York. It reminds me of the Village. It reminds me of Buckheadish. It's starting to be like a little Buckheadish, where, like you said, the yoga pants and where.
Yeah,
Because when I moved here, it was so suburb. It was Susie suburb, and now all of a sudden I'm seeing these new changes. I don't know if I like it because that's why I moved to the suburbs, but I got to deal with it.
yeah, it's becoming like almost like a second Atlanta. The whole
Yes.
county of Cobb is becoming Atlanta.
And I don't like it. And like you, I love Blue Ridge. I was just up there a couple of weeks ago. I love Blue Ridge. It's one of my favorite places in Atlanta, I mean, in Georgia to go visit because it's not far from where I live anyway, but I love it. And I love Cobb County. I bleed Cobb County. I don't know about the other counties, but I think this is one of the best county to live in, for now
This
anyway.
I think in Georgia, this might be the best county. I think the second one is, I'd say maybe like Gwinnett.
Yeah. There's no thinking. This is the best county.
Yeah.
I don't care about the others. This is the best county. So now, just talking to you, because I don't want to keep you too long. I want to say again, we're in support of anything and everything that you're doing. We're proud of you. We're proud of everything that you're doing and your accomplishments and what you're going to accomplish. So, if there's anything that you want to ask, you're free because this is your show. I'm just facilitating it. So, I just want to remind everyone, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the Women Are Worthy Network. And we had a wonderful conversation with Mr. Caleb Anderson. He's a 13-year-old college student. He goes to Georgia Tech and he's in Cobb County. He's one of ours. Yes. Favorite dance? What's your favorite dance? And do you dance?
I don't dance, but I like that one dance. I think.
Also, have you, because you are also of Haitian descent, Jamaican descent, I think Trini descent. So you come from a family of islanders. So have you gone to any of those three islands?
I've been to Jamaica.
Where in Jamaica? Where in Jamaica? Montego Bay, Kingston, Ocho Rios, where?
I think I went to Ocho Rios once, and I think I went to no, that's Haiti. I think I went to uh the first one you said. I forgot what it was.
Montego Bay?
Yeah, I think I went to there as well.
Okay. That was a long time ago?
I went there I went there. We used to do yearly cruises. So I went there. I went to, I guess, Montego once, and I went to Ocho Rios the other.
When we went to Jamaica, my husband and I, we went to a place in St. Anne's where Bob Marley's from. And we chose this place that I think was called Going Coconuts or something. It was a nice little resort. They only allowed like 12 people on there total, right? And when we went, we saw this like little spaceship. So I'm like, what's this little spaceship? So unfortunately, the shuttle that crashed, I think the astronaut, her name was Christy, she came to the island months before the crash, and her goal was to come back and speak to the kids and actually have like a little space camp in Jamaica. So when we arrived, and I think the space shuttle, I don't remember if it was January or February when it crashed, but she came like in the winter months just to relax and unwind because she was a school teacher and she was going to be on the shuttle, but she wanted to come back after, after obviously when she did come back, she wanted to teach the kids. And I never, ever forgot that, to see the little space shuttle that they built with the kids. And she told them when she comes back, she's going to show them how it works. And unfortunately, it never happened. And that always, I'll never forget that day, ever, ever, ever. And whenever we walked past the resort, we would see the little, and the kids were talking, because I went to the schools to speak to some of the kids, and they were talking about how she impacted them, but I can tell they were getting really heavy. It was getting really tense. So I wanted to shy away from the conversation. Because when I tell you, Caleb, they were crying. They were crying. So saying that Miss Christie will never come back. And, it was just hard. But just to see the impact that this teacher made with them was amazing to me. This teacher who happened to be an astronaut for that one flight,
Yeah.
So, but again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to the amazing Caleb Anderson with his dance and and him telling us what, everything. So again, tune in everyone to the Women Are Worthy show, the Women Are Worthy Network. We want to thank you for asking your questions. Support him. If you see him, support him. Support everything that he's doing. And again, we don't tolerate any negative Nellies. We all about positive Pollies. Thank you, Caleb. You've been a pleasure, and thank you for letting me check this off my box, because I always wanted to interview you. So we appreciate you. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great evening. All right.
You too.
Bye-bye.